thanks for coming back to New Hampshire, by the way.
Thank you. Good to be back to New Hampshire.
Glad to have you.
Thanks.
I think, in the past, social conservatives have been a little nervous about your position on abortion. This is a two-parter. First off, do you think abortion is murder?
I don't want to use that term because it means different things to different people, but it is, without question, it's taking a human life. Murder, I used to go to law school. Murder has malice aforethought and all sorts of other things that are associated with it, but it is taking a human life. I had a conversation with a professor, an MD from Stanford University. We were talking about when life begins and when a civilized society should protect life. And he made the point that when you take a sperm cell and a sperm and egg, put them together, and you have all the DNA necessary to create a life form, it is alive. And then the question is it human or not human? It is human. So it's life and it's human, and therefore it's human life. And in a civilized society, I believe that you respect the sanctity of human life. And so from my view, at the point of conception, I become concerned about protecting the sanctity of human life, and believe that we make a mistake as a society in taking human life in that form, or at any time during the progression from that beginning until death.
The second part, since social conservatives, we are happy that your position has evolved over time. I'm curious, when we work to ban abortion in this country, what type of penalties can we put in place at the federal government? I mean, if a woman has an abortion, would that sort of penalty be typical, similar to manslaughter, or should we put a penalty on her like a traffic ticket?
My view on this issue is that the right way to proceed is for, and I'm not a Supreme Court justice, I'm not planning on becoming a Supreme Court justice, but what I would like to see is the Supreme Court open Roe v. Wade to say, instead of having a one-size-fits-all Roe v. Wade philosophy over the entire nation, where all states have to follow Roe v. Wade, instead I'd say let states make their own decision on this issue, and let each state make its own choice. And therefore, if a state like South Dakota wants to be pro-life, it can be pro-life, and if New Hampshire wants to be pro-life, it can be pro-life, and develop its own laws and its own regulations. I'm not looking for the federal government to step in and make that decision. I don't think that's where the nation is. But do believe that we should reverse the Roe v. Wade one-size-fits-all, abortion required in all state mentality, and instead allow states to make their own choice.
What would be your hopeful penalty on United States?
I'm not going to offer penalties.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Two things, if you